our most asked questions about business mindset. Hi, my name's Liz Stanford and I'm one half of Baba Business, the Birth and Baby Business Academy.
And my name is Anna Lagrange. I'm the other half of Baba Business. So, mindset. We love mindset. Like, we love working on it. That is our favourite thing to do with our clients, whether it's in the membership, whether it's with our VIP one-to-one clients. We may even have some exciting something mindset-y and very exciting coming up later this year. So, can't share anything on that right now, but watch this space. But I think everyone's going to be able to resonate with these questions that we've got.
Yeah, definitely. And we shouldn't underestimate how important our mindset is as well.
No.
You saying we love it, you're a positive psychologist and I mindset coach. It's kind of, it runs through us. So
it does.
So read out the first question then, and let's see what's...
How do I stop comparing myself to other birth and baby professionals and stay confident in my own journey?
Oh,
comparisonitis.
I want to give this person a big hug because it's so hard when you get into that state of comparing yourself to others and beating yourself up for not being another person, essentially, or not being like another person. It's like, it's really hard mindset to get out of. So whenever we answer these questions, although we are answering them from a professional capacity, we're also answering them from a place of like empathy and more often than not experience. So this person is not alone. Like, there was just so many of us who suffer from imposter syndrome and comparisonitis. And the likelihood is that you're never going to completely get rid of it, that you'll rear its ugly head again at some point, usually when you go to the sort of next level of your business, or when you're feeling a bit vulnerable for some reason, will rear its ugly head, and then that can be difficult. But you've got to have coping mechanisms, really. You've got to be able to navigate it, or it can just keep you stuck. And we know you don't want to stay stuck, because what you do and what you offer is way too valuable for it not to be out there in the world. Like, people need you, and that's not to make you feel bad, but you also need to share your gift and your passion and your joy. So I think when you can come from it from that position and you've got tools to be able to navigate it and know that other people experience it, I think that can be a good start.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think, first of all, knowing that everybody experiences this on one level or another, like even those people you're looking at comparing and you think they're the bee's knees, those. And I know that often people come into this world because there's someone else who's inspired them, someone else that perhaps they trained under or volunteered under, or someone they've seen on social media, they're like, oh, wow, I'd love to do that. And then when you come to having the qualification and you're ready to go out there in the world and start offering the service, you're suddenly like, oh, but I'll never be like them. But no, you're not going to be ever like them, because you're going to be like you and you're going to be doing it in your way. So I think it's about first of all, it's like really like becoming aware. What are these thoughts? What am I actually telling myself? This is where journaling can come in. It can be so useful. Just get it out on paper or say it out loud to a trusted friend and just say it, because I promise you, once you say it out loud or you get it down on paper, you're going to look at it and be like, oh, well, is that true? Have I really got evidence for that? Is that something that's really, or is that just a story I'm telling myself? Because it kind of has this convenient effect of keeping me small, and I don't really have to step outside, be brave and be courageous and do these uncomfortable things. But like Liz said, if we don't do those uncomfortable things and step forward into our business, then we're not going to be making the impact that we came into this to make. So it's really important that you have these tools to work on this. So I'm a big fan of that journaling. Get it out in front of you, look at it, and then just say, is this really true? Like, is it? Let's think of an example. So what she said is, how do I stop comparing myself? So I'm assuming what she's saying is she just feels like, perhaps what a lot of people say to me is they say, why would someone come and work with me when they can work with them? I hear that a lot because and so can be really useful to look at, well, what am I good at? What are my unique talents? What is my, what is it my instructor said to me in our training that, was a gift that I had or something I was really, or what's the stuff that I really enjoy the most? What's my favorite part of what it is I do? And really tune into that, because we all come to this world with background. Very few people come into this like in their early 20s. I haven't trained anybody who's just come out of school or college. Most of us have got quite a lot of life experience leading up to this that cannot be replicated by anybody else. So you've already got this very unique set of skills that you may not have an official qualification for them or something, but so just really tune into that. And we know that that's the sort of thing that your ideal client is out there looking for.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've got a whole framework when it comes to imposter syndrome. So as part of the BABA membership, you can access that framework, which is part of a workshop, and then that will give you our entire strategy for dealing with imposter syndrome. But something that I would say is really good alongside the sort of journaling and understanding why you feel the way that you do is to think about some somatic work as well. So, when we have all these limiting beliefs about ourselves and these sort of just really negative feelings, because that's what imposter syndrome does, and comparisonitis. It's like, oh, they're better than me. And like, you were saying there, Anna, about thinking about your own unique gifts and talents. But if we have got these limiting beliefs about not being good enough, which might have come from our childhood, they can get literally stuck in our body.
Yeah.
Make us just feel like, no, I cannot show up, I cannot be visible, I cannot show up for my business, I just can't do this. If we can work that energy, that stuck energy out, and flapping my hands around, if we can work that stuck energy out of our bodies, then we can feel so much better, and we can feel much more open doing what we are what we're supposed to do. So for instance, it could be things like doing emotional freedom technique, which is or tapping on different meridian points, which again, we do as part of the membership. We run a session on that every month. It might be doing some really great breathing techniques. It might be just moving your body in some way, doing some power poses and things like that. Can be really helpful at just moving that energy through your body.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with all of that. And like Liz said, we'd love to help you more with the imposter syndrome thing, because we have recognised it as probably one of the biggest mindset issues for our ideal clients. So we've got all of that ready to help you in the membership. Right, next question.
What if I put in all this effort and it still doesn't work? How do I move past that fear?
Oh,
the fear of
we've all felt like that, but it is just the worst feeling, isn't it?
It is. The fear of failure is definitely something that can like keep us stuck and just like stop us from doing the things that we want to do. But I think, I heard this thing, I can't remember who said it, but it's so true. Like there's no point in worrying about failing at something you haven't even tried at, because you've already failed if you haven't even tried. So if you're really afraid of failing, then just sitting there and not doing anything is already failing. So there you go, you've done it. It's ticked off the list.
We've done it.
That little
harsh.
A bit harsh, sorry guys, but the steps that you take to move you forward to success can never be a failure, can it? And even if you like, what is failure? This is another thing. Like, even if you don't create the success that you wanted to, you've tried, and also you've probably learned a lot along the way, and it doesn't mean that you then just stop doing what it is that you want to do, because you've learned so much. You go back and you try again,
Exactly.
So I get this feeling. It's horrible. It is a horrible feeling.
Yeah, there's a whole podcast series, isn't there, called How to Fail. Or you know what I'm like with names. What's her name?
Elizabeth.
Thank you. Yeah.
Day.
Yes, Elizabeth Day. Well done, Elizabeth Day. You did it, because I kept going to Elizabeth Gilbert and I'm like, no, it's not her, she's got a different podcast. So yeah, so her whole podcast is on this theme. So if you failure is a big theme for you in a negative way, go and listen to her podcast, because it's brilliant. She gets all these guests on, really well-known people. They talk about how their failures have got them to where they are today. And then you hear that even, our idols, the people that we look up to, the people we think, wow, we could never do what they do, they also really struggle with this concept of failure. But yeah, it helps them to grow. So I think it is such an important part. Growth mindset tells us that we learn better through failure. So and even our education system is changing to have more of a growth mindset. So we used to have a fixed mindset where it's like knowledge becomes linear, so it just gets more and more as we get older. And obviously in school as well, we're taught it's either right or it's wrong, and you don't want to be wrong. That's like a bad thing. But we know with psychology now that actually it is good to be wrong, because we learn better and faster when we get things wrong. Otherwise there's nowhere to go if we're always getting things right. So see it as a really, really big part of what it is you do. The question is, how do I move past that fear? And I think this comes down to something that Liz and I call the rituals, which is having practices in your business that are going to, I keep the word gremlins keep coming up for me. So things that are going to help you get rid of but work on your gremlins, like make them smaller, shrink them, because we've all got gremlins, but ours may not be that exact thing. Ours might be something else. We all have them. We all have these negative thought cycles, and they can become really, really big, and they can stop us from taking action, and they can make us procrastinate. Just like you were saying, if we don't take action, then we've already failed. So you've got to make part of your business activities weekly, if not daily, some rituals, whatever these rituals are, that are going to work for you. So they're going to be different for everybody. But the idea of these rituals are they're little activities that you take that are going to bring you back to your mission, to the work that's important, to reaching your goals, to tuning into why you're doing this work, and help sort of tackle those gremlins, those negative thought patterns. So the sorts of things we have on our rituals are things like journaling. We're both big fans of journaling. Things like writing affirmations, positive statements, somatics, which we've already talked about, big part of it, and things like self-care, and having a self-care practice, and making sure we prioritize that with all the other things we have going on in our life. So it's not a nice to have. It's not one day I'll give myself half a day off and go and do something nice. It's not that. It's literally got to be intertwined into your working week.
100%. I think people really, really underestimate the impact that your mindset can have on your business, and they don't prioritize it enough. Absolutely. And yeah, we did sort of indicate that we've got something coming which we think is going to really, really help with this, and we're dead excited about it. But as it stands, just like Anna was saying, just find those practices to put into your day. They don't have to be big or extravagant, they just have to work for you. And sometimes you have to play around and experiment a little bit to find the right ones. But it becomes before anything. Like, it comes before you actually sit down and look at your emails, or before you make that sales call, because it is that vital to your business. We can't kind of communicate that enough, I think.
Yeah, so make sure that your mindset is in your mind every day.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, gosh, they were good questions, weren't they? Well,
They really were.
Thanks for listening, and we would love it if you are an avid listener, or you've just found us, or you dip in and dip out, if you would drop us a review via your podcast provider. Hit the bell to subscribe. If you're on YouTube, drop us a comment. Really, really helps us to keep being able to push these podcasts out and help you all. So yeah, thank you very much.
See you next time. Bye.